Welcome back. Today we'll be watching doorbell cameras to see what creepy people look just outside your front door. 8 most disturbing things caught on a doorbell camera on the footage. So it's nighttime, you're laying in bed, you're sleeping, not thinking anything, and outside of your house, creepy humans look. 1 a.m. in the morning, or as we say, 4-day morning. There they are, trying your locks, looking through your windows, crawling on your lawns. I almost said yawn because I was thinking about sleeping. So, without any delay, let's see what freaky things transpires on doorbell cameras when the night comes in.
This first video was captured in the middle of the night in an apartment complex located in Toledo, Ohio. The doorbell footage shows a man knocking on the front door with what looks like a firearm in his waistband. Now, the owner of the apartment didn't recognize the man, so she would question who it was. The unknown man would simply respond with, "It's me." The homeowner would then further question his response, but rather than clarifying, he would simply give a wave through the front door.
Me. That is so stupid. It's me. What makes you think
This,
somebody's
however,
gonna?
would not be enough to get the homeowner to open it, so he would ultimately walk off. Disturbingly, as he does so, a second man pops up from a nearby dumpster and also walks off. But this wouldn't be the end of it. The two would then walk around to the back door where they would attempt to pick its lock. The police were called, and when they arrived, the two were gone. Fortunately, unsuccessful in getting the door open. It's not 100% clear what the two men had planned. The almost empty-looking backpack of the first guy suggests they had planned to rob the place, but it's also possible they had much worse intentions. The two of them have yet to be identified by police.
Okay, first and foremost, my brother, what makes you think at that time of the night, and it looks like it's like really late at night, that you're gonna knock on somebody's door? Didn't you know they have a doorbell camera, for number one? And number two, it's me. What makes you think somebody's gonna open the door for somebody who just say it's me at night? I wouldn't. Depending on where I live. You know what I mean? It's me. I don't care who is me. And number two there, you know what I mean? They target that woman. They target this specific one. Because if it wasn't a targeted thing and they think it would be an easy go in and rob and stuff, they wouldn't go around in the back and try to get in. They would have just left. But on top of that, how do you not know she's got a doorbell camera and she wouldn't open the door for a stranger? She's standing there looking at you. She have it on her phone going, "Who is it?" And your stupid self gonna say, "It's me." Well, she don't know who me is. Who named you me? Your mom or your dad? Criminals are trippy, boy. They're trippy.
In May of 2018, a woman would leave her parked car that was just outside her house unlocked overnight. Not surprisingly, someone would find the unlocked car and proceed to steal multiple items that were owned by the woman. A few hours later, the man responsible for the theft would be caught on the woman's doorbell camera attempting to use her set of keys that he had just stolen to unlock her house's front door.
My man has got a purse on him. He's gonna go rob a house with a purse. Look at him. He's got a purse. I'm sorry, man. You
This
go
all took
rob a.
place while the house owner was home and sleeping, but luckily the set of keys he had stolen didn't have a house key on it, so the guy just ended up walking off. Had the set of keys contained a house key, things most likely would have ended much differently.
First off, you see the car there. So you know these people are home. I don't know if you had a weapon in your bag, but you came back the same night. Why didn't you come back like another night? You want to go in there while people are in there. And you don't look like somebody who could like fight off somebody that could body slam you with your person thing, you know what I mean? Oh man. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this bumbleclad stuff up.
This doorbell camera footage was captured in Overland Park, Kansas in March of 2017. Shown in the video is a nearby active house fire.
Wow.
The home of the neighbor just across the street has been completely engulfed in flames. As the fire department arrives, neighbors can be seen desperately moving their parked cars away from the house. Eventually, a flaming piece of debris can be seen falling and landing on a set of bushes just in front of the camera.
Wow.
The bushes quickly burst into flames. The fire starts spreading quickly, but before it's able to get out of hand, a neighbor notices it and attempts to put it out.
Yeah.
He grabs a
Cool.
garden hose and sprays the fire while pressing the house's doorbell. However, the owner of the house isn't home and frantically tries to communicate this through the doorbell speaker.
Hello, yes, I'm not there. Please put that out for me, please. I'm on my way home.
Your house on fire.
Yeah, I know, I'm on my way.
Car doesn't do it. That's somebody talking.
Nobody's in the house right now.
Real superhero there. He's got on a Batman t-shirt.
In the end, the fire department would be able to put out the house fire, and with the help from the neighbors, prevent it from spreading to nearby houses.
You know what's really cool about this? I mean, there's the fire, that's tragic. But the fact that neighbors came out and saved other neighbors' houses, that's community right there. That's really cool. I think most people would do that. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't just stand there and watch their neighbor's house burn, and that's kind of cool to know. Like I was saying there, ironic, one of the guys, superhero, he had on a Batman t-shirt there. And house fire is one of the scariest things that you could ever experience. Now, I was never in a house that was burning, but when I lived in Lexington, Kentucky, the house right next to mine caught on fire. And I mean, when I say right next to mine, I could walk out my front door, take 2 steps, and touch the other house. And I was sleeping. Me and my ex-wife, my wife at the time was sleeping, and all I heard is pop, 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 pop. I mean, the sound of a fire, of a house burning is the scariest thing because once it goes up in flames, there's nothing you could really do but wait for the fire department. So yeah, a fire, that's really scary. I've seen other buildings burn before, like on the island. I've seen house fires. It's a scary thing.
On a night in September of 2020,
Actually, that was not the closest. No, where I lived, I'm living across the street. I was living across the street from where I lived, And one night I was asleep and I smelled smoke. But I thought, hey, somebody's smoking cigarettes in the hallway. Went back to sleep. Got up the next morning. There was like I guess it was a 7-story apartment complex right next to mine. And I mean, when I say right next to mine, I could walk out of the apartment, and as I step out to go throw my trash out, I could touch that building. I slept through the whole thing. I slept through all the fire trucks. I slept through the whole thing. Woke up in the morning, and I was so lucky. I was so lucky because I mean, I slept through the whole thing. I woke up the next morning and I still smell smoke, and I went outside, and the whole street is blocked off and stuff, and there's fire trucks, and I walk out, and I was like, "What happened?" And they said, "Man, you slept through that?" Yeah, I slept through the whole bloody thing. I didn't hear anything. I forgot about that. Uh, there's a big space there where that building was, and I think one or two people actually perished in that. And I slept through it
A
all.
homeowner would get a suspicious knock on his door at about 3 in the morning. Upon opening his phone and looking at his doorbell camera, he would see two what looked like teenagers identifying themselves as CPD, or Columbus Police Department.
That's so stupid thieves, boy. Stupid robbers. Look at them. You know the camera is there, yeah, and she's watching you now. So she saw, whoever is in there saw what you was doing. Oh, you're a moron. And you whip out a gun. And you whip out a gun.
CPD, open up. We need to ask you a couple questions.
Whip out the gun saying
The
CPD.
video shows the man in the front clearly holding a firearm, and the house owner would eventually access the doorbell camera's speaker to further question him.
Can I help you?
CPD, we need to ask you a couple questions.
That just
I'm
so.
sorry.
CPD, we need to ask you a couple questions. May you please step to the front door, please?
CPD.
Yes, this is CPD. We would like you to step to the door, please.
Can I see a badge?
We would like you to step to the door, please, sir. I don't have to show you my badge, sir.
The man refuses to show a badge because, well, obviously he doesn't have one. The homeowner knew what was going on, so rather than stepping to the door, he would call the real police department and report 2 armed men at his front door. After a couple of minutes, the two would once again attempt to get the homeowner to open the door. But after that failed, they would run off before the real police could show up.
CPD, open the door.
What morons.
The two were most likely just looking to rob the man when he opened the door. But, I mean, it's possible they had worse intentions in mind. There's just no way of knowing for sure. Both of them were never identified by police.
What bumbleclot idiot, you know what I'm saying? He have a mask on. He pulls the mask down and says, CPD, open the door, knowing there's a camera, showing his face on the camera. Then pull the mask back up, and when the guy asked him again, was able to talk with the mask up. And like, boy, the robbers are the dumbest people on the planet, man. You know what I mean? Some of them are, once they get in, they're vicious. And it's not funny one bit. But look at this, man. These guys are, but here's the thing. Apparently, they never caught them. How come they never catch anything? Except jaywalking and stuff. Come on now, no, hey, no shade throwing. No, I ain't throwing no shade. I'm just saying. My man ripped the mask down. His face is there.
This footage was captured in Colorado in the middle of the night. The video shows 3 mountain lions appearing from the darkness and starting to walk around a set of houses. They were captured, even going as far as to walk up onto the porch of one of the houses.
Oh,
Mountain lion sightings are known to be exceptionally rare in this specific area. Typically, they'll stay a lot further in the mountains where they have easier access to the deer that they prey on. To see them in an area with a lot of people, especially a neighborhood, is not at all common, at least in this area. The three cats would eventually walk off, but there's almost no doubt things would have gone differently.
You see something moving right there? Where I don't know if you guys could see that. There is something moving right there, or maybe it's light, or
Had
maybe
one of
it's a
these homeowners
ghost.
left their pets outside for the night, or possibly were even outside themselves.
Let me just say this. I'm not a fan of cats. I'm not a fan of any kind of cats. I don't hate them. I just don't trust them. They're just way too smart for me. I don't like animals that are smarter than me. Those things are just, and they're mischievous, they're conniving, they're temperamental. But for some reason, they like me. Almost every friend I have who had cats, I walk in their house. They said the cats would scurry away from people, but no. The one man who is not a big fan of cats, they have to come, jump up on my lap, and sit there and grrr at me. What the? I just don't. I'm not a big fan of cats. I'm a dog person.
Shown in this doorbell camera footage is an unknown man wearing an oddly disturbing mask. As he walks up to the door, his motion alerts the camera to start recording. And that's when you can see him grab the door handle, realize it's locked, and hesitantly knock on the door. The man would wait for only a few seconds before he would pull his sleeve over his hand and wipe off his fingerprints from the door handle before walking
Wow.
off. Around a minute later, the homeowner would come to the door and now see the man across the street sitting in a car. When she yelled out to him to see what he wanted, he would quickly speed off. The homeowner would later state that she had no idea who this man could have been or what he was doing there. But the fact that he removed his own fingerprints from the door handle suggests that he had most likely given them to the police at some point. It's not completely unreasonable to conclude that this man had some sort of criminal record. Something else of note is the somewhat heavy object that can be seen weighing down his front pocket. It's not clear what this is, and more importantly, it's not clear who this man is. The mask would ultimately make it impossible for police to identify both the man's identity and his intentions.
What was it I was about to say? Good Lord, it slipped me. I forgot what I was about to say. But oh yeah, there's a lot of apprehensiveness in these robbers. You never know. You notice that. You know what I mean? And they make a lot of mistakes. You know what I mean? Because he knew the camera. It seems like he was surprised that the camera was there. You know, because first he tried the door, and then he looked at the camera, and then But he got his wits back to him to wipe his fingerprints off. That's man. You're in there chilling, sleeping, and people are trying to.
This doorbell footage was recorded just before 4 a.m. on a night in August 2020. The video captures an unidentified man walking in front of a house and emptying a gas container over the yard and front porch. Shortly after he disappears off screen, a large fire erupts just in front of the camera.
Wow. That's some bumbleclot craziness right there.
No one would be injured during the incident. However, unfortunately, 2 houses and a vehicle would be damaged.
Wow.
The homeowner would claim to have no idea who could be responsible, or who would even consider doing this to them. At least from an outside perspective, the act looks completely random, with seemingly no reason behind it, making the clip all the more unsettling.
Wow. My man was looking to unalive some folks, boy.
A homeowner in Texas would wake up one morning to find the gate into his backyard wide open. Curious, the man would review the cameras he had around his house.
Is that
This
a
is the sight he was met with.
is that a knife? That's a big knife. That is a big knife
A
that dude
man
have in his
holding a
hand.
knife and in a clown costume, complete with the suit and mask, casually walks around the property, looking inside the house and testing all the doors.
Comment down below. Are you afraid of clowns? I'm not. I'm not afraid of them. Now, if I'm driving down a lonely road and a bunch of clowns jump out at me, I might be startled. If I'm walking down the street and I see a clown at night, I probably wouldn't get, scared or apprehensive. Now, if there's some creepy music playing, that's a whole different story there. It's fight or flight, and no. But yeah, this is it's creepy seeing that he's trying to open doors and stuff, and he's got a big old knife. And he's just walking around like he have no care.
This would all, of course, take place in 2016, during that sort of killer
Wow.
clown craze that went on for a few months. Looking back, most people that participated in that were most likely just having fun trying to scare people. But there's no denying that others took advantage of the situation, genuinely attempting some pretty horrible crimes hidden under a clown mask, with this likely being one of those cases. It's
That is not a young person. Judging from the walk, that person is in their 40s or early 50s. Don't ask me how I know. I could tell people's walk and tell the age, tell who they are, where they're from, internationally, not locally. I could tell the difference between an African walking and an African American walking, or a European walking and an American walking. I could tell the difference. I don't know why I could do that. I just can't. Maybe because I've done a little bit of traveling in my time.
clear the person in the costume is actually trying to break into the house with a knife. Though, after being unsuccessful, the clown would eventually walk off. And despite a
See?
police report,
Look at that
would
walk.
be the end of it.
That's an older person.
Ultimately, the homeowner would be left with nothing but this disturbing footage.
Well, this was creepy, but in some sense, laughable. The way those robbers were acting, and if you pay close attention, you could see the anxiousness. Or is it stupidity? While you're sleeping at night, you never know what's lurking outside. Wild animals, both of the feline or of the humankind, may be waiting out there for you. Never answer your door. 4 a.m. in the morning, nobody should be knocking on your door. And if you know anybody coming at 4 a.m. in the morning, have them text before they come. Take precautions, because you never know what's outside in the dark.